Do you guys have any plans tonight, and do you want to hang out with me? Well, super simple. All you guys have to do is go to Celtics Today by Chat Sports. That's where I will be, the host of the Boston Celtics, for Game 1 of the NBA Finals live. Play-by-play, highlight stats, and of course, we're going to have a couple of drinks and have a good time. If you guys want to join, go to Celtics Today by Chat Sports, hit that sub button, and join us for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The latest news out of New England is coming for a couple of roster moves here, still kind of focusing on that wide receiver position. I'm going to break down who they recently signed and who they recently cut ahead of mandatory minicamp next week. But on the back half of the show, I want to talk about an issue that I don't feel like the Patriots are really capitalizing right now while they're making all of these roster moves. But before I hop into that, here's why you guys subscribe. If you want the latest coverage on the mandatory minicamp for the Patriots starting next week, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. I promise we're putting out a video almost every single day about your New England Patriots. So go on ahead and hit that sub button. Let's go on ahead and get into the recent signee for the New England Patriots. It looks like JaQuae Jackson is coming from the Atlanta Falcons to the New England Patriots. He is a wide receiver, and he is 6'2", 190 pounds, and he caught 22 passes for 361 yards and a touchdown last season for Rutgers. So now this is the latest wide receiver to come to New England after they recently signed the Division III standout Randolph-Macon, David Willis. But here's what's kind of funny about why they just signed Jackson, is because they only made the sign for Jackson after they cut Andrew Stueber, which we know he went to Atlanta, was picked up by the Falcons, but then the Falcons had to make room for Stubby to even join their roster, so they cut Jackson, and the Patriots picked up Jackson. So they're pretty much just switching picks here to be able to really implement this on their roster right now. But, of course, now the domino keeps falling since they added a wide receiver. They had to cut somebody on their roster, and that latest cut for the New England Patriots is going to be TJ Luther. Luther has not been at OTAs, obviously been dealing with some injuries, but this is a very extensive wide receiver list, so they added a receiver, and they ended up cutting TJ Luther today, which is, of course, another wide receiver, which Luther did not participate in this year's OTAs, which I do think as a very big reason as to why he was just recently cut. But you've also got to keep in mind is that while they're making all of these wide receiver moves, they have yet to sign Jalen Polk. He's now the last NFL rookie for the Patriots that they have not signed to his rookie deal after being drafted. So they also still have to sign one more wide receiver here in Jalen Polk from Washington. But let's go ahead and talk just real quick about who JaQuae Jackson actually is. Like I said, Atlanta signed Jackson as a UDFA this offseason, and I asked our Falcons host here, Petey, I'm like, who is this guy? And he's like, honestly, he's kind of a nobody. I doubt he's going to make the full roster here for the Patriots, but here is what they picked up. Here's what they picked up and why they picked him up. He had one season at Rutgers, and like you guys said, 22 receptions, 361 yards, and one touchdown, but he did transfer from a D2 school to Rutgers, so he only has one season of Division I ball. So I'm really intrigued to see why they picked him up and what he's going to do ahead of that mandatory minicamp. Not to mention, Jackson is now the 12th receiver on this Patriots squad. They just let go of TJ Luther. They will sign Jalen Polk here, but they definitely made some interesting recent signees with David Wallace being the Division III standout that he was, and now you're picking up a guy that fluctuated between D2 and D1. They're really making sure they do not end up how they were last year, with Pop Douglas pretty much being their only reliable receiver with a quarterback situation that wasn't very good either. They're trying to make sure whoever's QB1 has the utmost targets to work with this season. And here are the rest of those 12 receivers that the Patriots do have right now. Of course, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, which I did put out a video yesterday about how the Patriots could possibly end up cutting Juju. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Kendrick Bourne, the recent signee, Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, KJ Osborne, Jalen Rieger, Tyquan Thornton, Kayshawn Boop. You got Baker, David Wallace, and JaQuae Jackson now being the latest signee here for the Patriots. So they have several resources to work with here, depending on whoever is QB1. But I want to ask you guys this question. With all those receivers that are right now working out in OTAs and heading into mandatory minicamp, who are your favorite receivers on the Patriots right now? Let me know down below if you guys are really loving what Baker, the touchdown maker, has been doing, if you love how Pop Douglas is still doing the damn thing, or even if you like somebody like Juju, the veteran on this squad. Let me know in the comment section down below. Next, I do want to talk about how I personally think the Patriots are not answering a huge question surrounding the offense heading into the regular season. So stick around for that. But first things first, like I said, the NBA Finals are here tonight. Your Boston Celtics will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. As you guys can see, I have my lovely Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown stepbrother shirt on, but I also think this shirt is just as cool. This was a shirt that the players were wearing once they were crowned the 2024 NBA Eastern Conference Finals champions. As of right now, you guys can go get this shirt right now on Fanatics. Just go to chatsports.com/CelticsECF. I think this shirt is really cool, especially if you've got the same shirt that Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the rest of the Celtics were wearing on the night that they did hold that trophy high. And hopefully, I can come back in the next 2 weeks and show you guys another shirt of the Celtics holding a trophy high. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens after Game 1. So if you guys want this Eastern Conference Finals shirt, I know I'm getting one. chatsports.com/CelticsECF. There is no secret. The Patriots' offensive line gives me stomach ulcers. I have no idea what they're going to look like this year. I really don't. And I do appreciate the Patriots making sure they've got enough QBs in the depth chart to not have to go through what they did last season. To have enough receivers on the depth chart to not go through what they did last season. But I feel like they're not acknowledging the offensive line as urgent as they should be. So here's a recent tweet that I saw from OTAs that happened this week talking about, hey, you got your QB working, you're getting your receiver working, but this is all fun and games, realizing that's not real football. There are no pads. There are no whistles. These are just drills. So obviously they're going to be dominant, but consistent theme in the practices we've seen. Patriots offense has had some highs in 7-on-7, but as soon as you add the line into it, 11-on-11 flips heavily in the defense's favor. Work in progress along the O-line for the Pats. Oh, well, we know the defense is always going to be the number one asset that the Patriots do have right now. But this is what I'm saying. The minute they actually put a little bit of real-time football in there, the O-line collapses. And they are making a few moves here to try to beef up that O-line, but I don't think it's enough because they waived Andrew Stuber, which is unfortunate. Working out, XFL left tackle Liam Fernando came from my alma mater, JMU. I think Liam Fernando has a fantastic size to stick him right there on that left tackle spot. He played for the DC Defenders and did not allow a single sack last season. And when he played for the JMU Dukes, he was protecting Ben DiNucci's blind side, who's had a couple of stops in the NFL. So I think Liam Fernando could actually have some good success here in his workout with the Patriots. And they did recently sign Caden Wallace and Layden Robinson to their rookie contract. But once again, neither of these players are actual true left tackles. They're just trying to work them out at that left tackle position. So I'm not too confident in the quarterback's blind side right now. And I don't care if it's going to be Brissett, Zappe, Milton, Maye. It does not matter if you do not have somebody there to protect that blind side and to keep that QB from getting hurt. And this is what they knew going into the NFL draft. They picked up some big guards. They picked up some big tackles. But now you're going to start to work in on Onwenu, and you're also going to start to work in Caden Wallace. The same thing with Okorafor to see if they can fit at that left tackle position. But here's what Ross Tucker had to say about the Patriots' left tackle issue. The left side is very, very concerning. Both of those guys are question marks. And he's talking about Wallace and Okorafor. And to me, moving them to left, now it's like a double question mark. Maybe they feel like between the two guys, at least one of them will work out. But I've seen game before where neither of them works out. And that can be problematic. And now if you do decide to stick Drake Maye in the backfield, we do know that Drake Maye, one of his assets coming into the draft, was that he didn't have the best offensive line at UNC, which he did learn how to be a pretty good scrambler. And that's the good news here is that he is going to be able to perform, even if he doesn't have the top-tier offensive line, because we saw him do that in the ACC. But baby, this is not the ACC. This is the NFL. And if you are going to have D ends, edges, and D tackles running at your ass, it's going to be a lot different than 19-year-olds who are doing it in college. So I do think they still, if they want to roll with the rookie and I could really see that a possibility. You have got to put a bigger, stronger, older offensive line in front of the newbie. The Pats adding wide receivers, that's great. You're giving Maye a ton of resources. Same here with Jacoby. Same thing here with Bailey Zappe, whoever's going to be QB1. But what does that mean if he doesn't have protection? That's my only thing. I love linemen. I think that they are the key to all football games. I do not think they have the recognition they deserve. I am an offensive lineman fan. 110%. I love the Gentle Giants. So while I think the wide receivers are all great and flashy, good luck trying to get to them when you're getting sacked 9 times out of 10. But Gerard Mayo is not giving up hope just yet. He said, look, we're always trying to bring in good players. Those guys are doing well. We'll see what happens as the roster continues to play out. Realistically, we're still early in the process, and training camp will reveal a lot. So yes, they are going to try to work out Core 4 and Wallace and see how they do at that left tackle position, but they also may decide to pick up a few more left tackles in that process, true left tackles. Like I just said, that XFL player that they're actually working out, Liam Fernando, he is a true left tackle, which can move a lot of mountains heading in to that training camp. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how many more receivers they sign compared to how many more players they're going to sign that can really play that left tackle position, but also on the offensive line, because I think that is where it really starts. So with that being said, are you guys worried about the Patriots offensive line? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm never going to be satisfied with the offensive line, even if they had the best 5 guys out there. I just think that the offensive line is just so fluctuating with injuries and whatnot. So I really do hope the Patriots start to realize this is the number one thing they need to focus on right now heading into training camp. And with that being said, we are 1 week away from mandatory minicamp. Go on ahead and hit that sub button if we cover the Patriots every single day. If you want the latest news on your favorite NFL team, go on ahead and subscribe.